everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel. This is my April TBR. So I have not uploaded properly in a while. You may notice I have cut my hair. I love it. I'm so glad that I no longer have really long hair. I hadn't had it cut since before COVID, so this is very freeing. I had a very busy month in March, which I will talk about in my March wrap up, which is going up in a couple of days. But I wanted to show you my April TBR, which is very ambitious. I am not particularly taking part in any readathons. I am doing the Aurelium Magical Readathon. I'm just trying to figure out my prompts because I've highlighted the ones that I can definitely do. There are a couple that I probably can't do because it's books under 100 pages or short stories / essays. I don't really like those, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to fit that in, and then a couple that I'm gonna have to do more research on. So I'm not sure about that. I'm just gonna see how it works out with the books that I am interested in, of which there are many. So I don't really know where to start. I think, I'll start with my book club book for Space Sirens, which is a YouTube booktuber book club that I run with a bunch of friends. I don't really run it, I just came up with part of the idea for the group chat. We are going to be reading The Grace of Kings, which I am hoping to get from the library very soon. I've had it on hold for ages, but someone is taking forever to return it, and there's only one copy in my county, so I'm waiting a while to get that. I might see if it's in the next county over, but that will require driving, and I don't really want to do that. So that's what we'll be reading for Space Sirens in April. We have also picked our May book club book, and I don't know what May is going to look like for me because we're getting our porch extension finally, and I don't know what life is going to be like in May really, so I'm going to try to read it, the May pick, in April instead, and that is Far From the Light of Heaven. This one is a sci-fi book. I don't really know much about it. I do know that I didn't really like this author's other book that I read, Rosewater. It was terrible, but I'm hoping this is going to be better now that he is not such a new writer. I have high hopes. And then moving on, there are a couple of books, 3 I think, that I am in the middle of and that I need to finish off. One of which I just started today, and that is the X Hex by Erin Sterling. This is a paranormal rom-com about a woman who is a witch called Vivian and a guy who is also a witch called Reese. He is Welsh, she is American. He broke her heart back in the day, I think it was 9 years previously, and then it skips forward 9 years and he comes back into her life, and she has accidentally cursed him in one way or another. I don't really know how yet because I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm about 40 pages in. I'm really liking it so far. I think it's going to be adorable. I think I'm going to ship the ship, which is what you want from paranormal rom-com. I'm also in the middle of the Black Prism. I say in the middle, but I'm actually only about 40 pages into this one as well. I started it at the beginning of March, and then life kicked off. Promotions happened, redundancies at work happened. My friends came to stay for a couple of weeks and life was just very hectic, so I didn't carry on with it, but I did enjoy the 35 pages that I read, and I can't wait to carry on with this and read more of the series. I bought the other books in this series up until the last book because I found them for £2 at the charity shop, and because of that I set myself a challenge of starting this series because I had the sequels, so I kind of had to. I have also started and not continued with Malice by Quinn, another chunky one. This one is another epic fantasy like this one. This one is about like light powers, as in like light prism powers, I don't really know. And this one, I have no idea what it's about, to be honest. I've read 67 pages. I'm probably going to have to reread the last couple of chapters because I can't remember anything that happened, but I do want to finish that off this month and decide if I want to carry on with the series or not, because at the moment I'm feeling very meh about that one. I do hope it will be good though, because I know everyone loves that series. And I have also started Ariadne several times. I've read the first 2 chapters over and over again and I just couldn't get into it for some reason. Again, March was a very funny month for reading. I'll talk about that in my wrap up. So I do need to start this again and give it a good go. This one is a Greek mythological retelling, obviously, about Ariadne. I think she falls in love with a guy called Theseus when he arrives in Crete. I've been to Crete, so it'll be really cool to see that setting. It says here that Ariadne has heard too many tales of women being punished for the acts of men. She is determined to set her own fate, but will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? So I don't know if this is going to be a kind of like revenge story or what's going to go on, but I'm very excited. I'm really in the mood to read some mythology. I've just been struggling lately. I've also got a couple of books I want to read for my booktube history project, which I still haven't posted on my channel, but I will at some point eventually. I'm basically reading a bunch of old school booktube books that were hyped up back in the day when I first got them, when I first joined booktube in 2010, and I'm reading through them, discussing how booktube tastes have changed, if these books would kind of fit in now, if you should consider maybe reading them. So the two that I'm reading this month, because there's only 2 of them, yeah, 2 of them. The first one is Darkness Becomes Her, which is set in Louisiana, future Louisiana, I think. And the main character is some sort of paranormal being. It's got werewolves and shifters and stuff. And then we have Once a Witch, which is the first book in a duology, I think. And I did request the second book from NetGalley back in the day because I didn't realise that it was a sequel. And I bought this one and then just never read either of them because I am the worst. So I'm gonna read this and then hopefully read the second one, or DNF it and explain why I'm going to DNF it. I'm going to read Bone Gap, which is a magical realism thriller kind of vibe. I think my friend Justine recommended this one to me. She really enjoyed it, I think, or it might have been Nikki. Could have been both, I can't remember. I don't really know much about it. Nikki bought it for me and said that she loved it, so I think it was Nikki, or both. I'm looking forward to reading this one. It should be a good one for the 24-hour readathon that's coming up soon. And also, don't laugh at me, but I want to read The Pillars of the Earth this month. This one is over 1,000 pages long and it's about a cathedral, and that's all I know about it. I know this cathedral is featured in the entire trilogy and we follow the life or building of this cathedral and all the people whose lives are affected by it or who live around it, kind of, I think is the vibe that I'm getting from it. Yeah, a gothic cathedral. Basically, again, I bought the sequel for this one because I found it in the library and I thought I would read it this month. Just the first one, not the sequel as well, because it seems silly to buy series sequels and then not start the series. Quill actually bought this book because he liked the sound of it, and my friend Tatum has been recommending this one to me for years, so I might as well read it. I know it's 1,000 pages, but I'll do my best. Then I have Blood Air because I need to, do you want to see Bucky? There you go. I need to read this one for Recaptains. The sequel has come out, I think it came out in March, 3rd book in the trilogy, and so I want to read this one, read the sequel and recap them both for Recaptains. This one is a Red Riding Hood retelling of some sort, I'm not really sure. I know there was a lot of controversy when this one first came out. Can't really remember much about the controversy, to be honest, at this point. So much, but I do want to read this one and I want to see how good it is. It's actually quite chunky. It's 450 pages. I was expecting it to be a bit shorter. And then I have finally a couple of books from the library. I might show you some of my NetGalley books afterwards as well, because I'm going to try to do like a mini arc April kind of thing. I'm not sure. This TBR, as always, is very chaotic and it might change. I really struggle to stick to TBRs, but I want to read Senlin Ascends, which is a fantasy book about a guy who needs to go and avenge his wife. And there is The Castaways, which is a thriller set on an island on a secluded beach. A plane wreck, someone sharpens a knife in the shadows and people die. I'm thinking about pairing this one with a NetGalley book that I received recently called The Cove. They sound kind of similar in that they're thrillers set on an island or a beach and they have that kind of vibe, you know. So yeah, I think I might do a vlog on that. I'm trying to do weekly vlogs in April. I don't think I've mentioned this anywhere, but I really want to bring back weekly vlogs because I miss doing them, and I found that I really like going back and watching old vlogs. So yeah, that's something I'm going to try to do going forward. When things get busy, I'm just going to have to scrap that because I can't cope when things get busy at work. But in April, I think things should be okay. May should also be alright. June might be a little bit hectic. So that's my TBR. It's nearly as tall as I am because I have ambitions. I'm not going to show you my NetGalley books. I might do a NetGalley check-in in April and show you where I'm at with them. But wish me luck. I am going to need it, particularly for this one here, which is Pillars of the Earth. Let me know what you're reading in April. Let me know if you've read any of these books and which ones you would recommend. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really glad to be back on BookTube. I will speak to you all soon. Bye.